Hi, this is Lazaro from Junior Remodels. I want to showcase one of my favorite kitchens. Follow me through and I'll show you around. This was a full remodel from the ground up. We redid all electrical outlets, all got redone, ceiling, texture, flooring. But what separates this kitchen from all of them is all the detail and fine trim molding. As you can see here, every trim work was fabricated and just done by hand from scratch. All these moldings, all this beveled, all this molding wraps all the way around, all this beadboard, this 3-piece trim molding. As you see how I incorporated this and it wraps all the way around, but it still continues with this own baseboard at a different color. As you can see here, over here, how it still wraps. Another key feature about this kitchen is the hardware and the mechanism. Every drawer, every door is slow closing. You would come and close your door and it would softly close slow. Every drawer. Check this out. This is one of the nicest features about this. This is a blind corner. The blind corner has this blind section where it's useless, so they have the left section of this cabinet open so that you're able to reach all this section, but a lot of the space is useless. So this feature allows you to use up all of the space. You have a pull-out drawer, then it slides out, and another compartment slides out, and you take use of all the space. And it's really heavy-duty built. Just slide it back, and as you can see, these are really heavy, you know, and it holds the weight. Slide it back in. Close it. There you go. Every compartment, every space was built and used. As you can see, this appliance is very unique. This is a cooktop with a downdraft system. So it has an exhaust built in that sucks the air, the smoke down into the foundation and it spits it out. So this is the mechanism, and I built this box so that it wouldn't look tacky and you still had like open, clean space. So this was all custom. And all these drawers, very usable, very deep. And this cabinet, 100% birch wood, solid wood. Face of the wood, the frame, the inside is plywood. You know, it's not a solid wood, but it still does its job. Continuing with the features, with the options, this was another option that got selected, you know, individually, because she specifically wanted a built-in microwave and a built-in oven. And we didn't waste any space, and it still has a built-in compartment at the bottom. All slow closing, built-in pantry, nothing but pull-outs. This client didn't want to struggle. Look at all this weight. Easily about 20-30 pounds, and it'll hold it, and it's slow closing. This is a face dummy, and as you can see, it just molds and blends into it. You can't even tell that it's a dummy. It's a dummy door, and look how fine, how detailed I get into it. This molding trim here, and I made a cut here so that this trim face molded into the fixture, and it made it look like this was here before, so it didn't look modified. So no space got wasted in this section. Why? Because a regular countertop is 17 to 19 inches of backsplash height, and it's not even a good amount of clearance to be able to use a coffee pot or any kind of coffee fixture. Why? Because your height is limited. You always have a restriction where, you know, it's so tight. So this section, I designed it where no space got wasted and it's so usable. You know, it doesn't feel so cramped. You can walk in through here and it looks so nice. I added more height, and it's a prep area with a full backsplash and looks so elegant with just this corner, just this section. Really, really, really detailed work. And as you follow me through over here in this section, I could explain and demonstrate what I was pointing out with the molding. Look at this two-piece trim molding I have here in the toe kick, and I ran it through with the rest of the house molding, and I combined it where it's the same trim. I just gave it the white, you know, accent-based trim molding, but it still runs through the whole kitchen, the whole living space, even into the built-in entertainment space over there. Okay, over here we still added more pantry over there, pantry over here. Why? Because I wanted to make the refrigerator look built-in. We couldn't add another pantry here because our space was limited, but we still added a side panel which makes it look built-in and boxed in, and we're still able to get a Lazy Susan over here. Now, this kitchen's about almost 2 years old, and the condition looks like when I left a week ago. It's in mint, it's just spotless. This client is just so meticulously so organized that, you know, you could just open something and it just looks photoshopped. It just looks staged. You know, there's no wear. The only wear you can see is here. Why? Because, you know, at some point you just, you know, an accident. It happens, and maybe I need to modify it and adapt something where we could avoid that. You know, we could work on that. I could patent something, but for right now, just look at this. It just, no space gets wasted. You could turn the Lazy Susan, you could reach into it without reaching all the way all the way inside. It turns really easy and accessible, and it's really firm, it's really sturdy. Look at that. Look at the weight. Look how easy it just rolls through. Now over here, as we continue to follow through, you know, this client in particular wanted this specific faucet for her needs. So in this case, this is a pull down, so it's not a spring coil. This is actual pull down with a weight, so it has a weight that retracts itself. It does have a cascade mode, so if you were to drop it, you know, it will pull itself back on. You know, she's more demanding on her needs, so in this case she has 2 types of soap. There's not an actual limit of how many options you could have, but normally you have 3. You know, your water, your main water source, a filter water, or the garbage disposal push button. Like in this case, you want to come at this angle. We have a garbage disposal push button. So this will turn on your garbage disposal. This avoids you reaching all the way over here and turning on this switch. It's more accessible and it, you know, looks kind of nice. Check it out. So in your standard kitchen, there's no limit to your options, but you will normally have 3 options. But this client wanted 2 separate types of soap. And I centered and combined everything, and it looks clean. You know, it doesn't look offset. So here we have this multiple surfaces. They heat up, and this is a downdraft that sucks and pulls air from the bottom. Let me turn this off because this is really, really hot. This is an industrial grade. It's really, really heavy duty. This client hand selected each fixture you see in here. This light's gonna remain on because the surface is still really hot. Okay, so this is it's an exhaust, but what it's actually doing is just, instead of sucking it up, it's sucking it down. It has a built-in downdraft system, which has a motor which sucks it and then shoots it out through the bottom of your foundation through a vent outside your home. But your home, this is not a common feature because your home, when it was built, it had to be engineered that it was gonna have a duct underneath your foundation. So this is a really unique kitchen, really custom work, and then with these features, you know, you can't go wrong. Another technology feature on this kitchen in particular was the LED strip. It's not actually a light, it's an actually built-in light, but everything got wired before, while it was being built. So you're not gonna see any wire, any cables, nothing. Why? Because everything was hidden behind this quartz, behind this case molding. Everything was hidden in here, that nothing is shown, so the work just looks spotless. Feature that allows you to turn on the light without you even touching nothing. You just wave your hand in here, the lights will come off. You could pull your hand to the side and brighten them up, or you could put it to the left and dim them down or turn them off. Okay, all this is connected with one component. So as you can see, we wired everything through this section. But this other light is individually, but it still has a built-in sensor that it would turn on and off by itself. But it's not completely, it's separately from these lights because they wanted to get access to this light individually when they were, you know, doing their coffee or stuff at night, and they didn't have to turn on the whole kitchen. This is why this got integrated individually. Another feature that helped a lot in this design was this ceiling pop-up. This, you know, what would you, I call it case molding pop-up, ceiling pop-up. Why? Because we actually pop up, you know, a few inches, at least 6 inches. That made the illusion that the ceiling looks way higher. With all this beautiful case molding and these LED motion sensor dimmable lights, you can't go wrong. It just made the kitchen look way higher. Now check this out. Look at the sensor. You could program it where you could adjust the dimness. Every time you turn it off, they would dim and turn off. Really, really nice. And it would stay programmed at the level you have it. So as you can see it, I could lower it at a mid-level. I could turn it off, and I could turn it back on, and it would stay just exactly at that level that I had it set. So right here, I'm going to demonstrate the dimmable. You could dim them down to that level, and you could raise them up to that level. When you turn them off, they would dim by themselves. You want to turn them back on, it would just boom. And we also have a feature where we could put a sensor, a motion sensor, where you could have these lights turn on and off within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes of no detection. So you would save money and time. So you wouldn't have to be flickering any switches. You would just walk into the room, lights would just automatically turn on by themselves. So I was mentioning all this beadboard, all this wood paneling, it's still incorporated all the way around this living space. Let me point this two-piece baseboard molding. As you can see, it wraps around the toe kick of this kitchen cabinet. And I ran it all the way through, and this color, it's separate from this kitchen. It's a completely different base, white base, you know, accent color, accent molding color. It follows all the way through, all the way over here into this little, you know, this is a custom job. This job was, everything was hand selected, hand picked, and everything was designed to the customer's needs and what this kitchen demanded. Every job is different. This job in particularly had a lot of character, had a lot of trim molding, had a lot of pop outs, had a lot of unique characters of the age of the home. So we didn't have to put a huge plasma, you know, deck it out, make it look, you know, up to date. We didn't. We kept it original. We kept the theme going, and I kept the beadboard wrapping all the way around, all this custom crown molding and this, this good size case molding, how I made it into a box and made it built in. Everything here is functional, everything. These drawers, even this top drawer, check it out. There's electrical, there's, so many panels running back there, and we still managed to keep everything functional. See? Everything works. And as you can see, it's completely built in a box, and this molding still wraps around and aligns all the way around. But this work is not, it's not common. This is really custom, fine work. But I also display this type of work in your common jobs. So don't get discouraged, don't get afraid from all this fancy work. I build your kitchen to your budget. I work with your goals and your needs. I don't put a price, you put a price. I'm just the artist that, does the work. I personally want to thank Jane for allowing us, for my crew, 760 Media, showcase my work. My fans, my clients, everybody that believed in me. This is the next step up and ready to start my new store and just grow. If you like this, comment down below and follow me.